Hello, hello guys, it's Grill Got Game, and welcome to one final Steam Prison video. Yes, if you can believe it. Thank you guys so much for your votes on my poll. I was blown away by the overwhelming result of, yes, are you kidding? Of course we want you to do the last Steam Prison thing about their special stories on their wedding night. Is this even a question? And I'm like, yes! So thank you all for being so awesome. I also want to give a shout out to Imogen Gannon, I hope that's how I say your name, for recommending this video to me in the first place, so thank you as well. So that I could actually see these for myself and not just wonder aimlessly, and also for reminding me that it existed, so thank you so much again for that. And thank you to BZips for uploading this video for me to react to. I'm going to give them a like. I'm going to leave a link to their video down below, so, go give them some love too for putting this up so that we can all enjoy it together. And with that, as you can see, it's a long video, so get comfy. We're gonna do this in one go, all together now. All right, let's see who we're starting off with. Ulrich to start. Ooh, okay. Fun. Let's start with our tsundere boy. Ah, damn, I'm really tired. It was the night before our marriage. Aww. I entered Elkreed's mansion, stumbled towards the sofa, and collapsed on top of it. I loved its soft sensation. I hope Elkreed's your best man. I felt revived. Not that I was ever dead, though. You're weak. I heard your footsteps approaching. Cyrus's? You chuckled and sat down on the opposite sofa. Would she actually say that to you? I wish you'd have sat on mine, but didn't say it. Weak. I chewed on this statement as I slowly lifted myself up. I guess so. Compared to a bodyguard like you, I'm weak. Man, he's really mellowed. Being an information broker isn't physical work? Well... I ruffled my hair and said, it is, but... It's physical, but... the kind of muscles we use are different. I see. Good work, Ulrich. I'd been prepared for another counter-argument, but you accepted mine. For once. It was kind of anticlimactic. Perhaps you hadn't taken well to something you ate? No, we always eat the same things. It would have affected me too. Aw, you guys eat the same things, adorable. Still wondering what was wrong with you, I said, you too. We both did something we're not used to. You didn't say anything for a moment and whispered, that's rare. What is? That you're considerate. I bet it's going to rain tomorrow. Oh my goodness. The timing of that. What? I guess I don't normally play nice with people. There's nothing to be had, yeah. But? I didn't say anything for a while before sighing and brushing it away. I knew perfectly well I wasn't acting normally. Getting nervous? It was just uncomfortable for me to have all this pointed out. I wasn't very cool anyway. Aww. You're right. I'm not being myself. I'll never again give the slightest damn about you. How terrible. You got up and sat down next to me. I wasn't making fun of your kindness. I was glad. I'm sorry I didn't get that across. Damn right. It better be. You should really be nicer to me, idiot. I gently flicked your forehead. I'm even taking the preparations for the marriage ceremony tomorrow sort of seriously, like a real idiot. That's because you in love. You agreed and inclined your head. Normally, you would have left it to Elkreed. Why not this time? What a weird question. I wouldn't like the outcome if I left it to him. That seemed so obvious to me, I had to wonder why you asked. Think about it. Imagine giving him that to do. There'd be people throwing cherry blossoms everywhere. The whole thing would be in a disgusting golden pavilion built just for our marriage. They'd even set white doves loose. I'm excited for Elt's marriage. Oh. I had to do it myself. I had no choice. I shut my mouth, thinking I had probably gone too far. I shouldn't have said I'd had no choice. Unable to think of a good excuse, I merely stood there until you thanked me. Not ironically, but sincerely. I wouldn't have expected gratitude. My eyes snapped open. I appreciate your judgment. It can't have been easy to get up and do it, and failure is unacceptable. Judgment, failure. It was very much like you to think in those rigid terms. Not that I knew how other weddings went. I'd never gone to one, and Elt was unmarried. You haven't gone to a single wedding? Still, it didn't seem like a battle assignment to me, or anything else that could be measured in success or failure. I merely nodded. We don't want it to be ridiculous. Had I changed? You? Both of us? When we'd met, we complained about each other all the time. But now... Marriage, huh? I whispered and stared at the ceiling. I wondered whether it was a good thing that I wasn't nervous. That's good. It is a good thing. It just didn't feel real. What are marriage ceremonies like in the Heights? In the Heights? Yeah, I said and looked at you. Oh, I'm not actually interested in the Heights. I hate that place. We know. I know. I really hate the Heights. No need to emphasize it. I reseated myself on the sofa closer to you and said it was important. Okay. But there'll be a lot of guests. I don't know if I planned it all right. Well... You grimaced and pondered this. Did you never pay attention? After a few seconds. No, after a minute or so, I brushed it off. How can you not know? Did you lose your memory? No, my memory is fine. I just don't know. How? I gave you a puzzled look. You said you were always negative about marriage. Negative? I thought about this and remembered the time I had proposed to you. At the time, I had put your surprised reaction down to it being very unusual behavior for me. Well, I mean... Perhaps. You don't want to get married to me. This seemed like an ill-fitting question given the circumstances, but I had to ask. I spoke slowly as I looked at you. I mean, better to ask now than go through with it and ask after. No, that's not it. I would have said no then. You allayed my fears. shrugged, and immediately said that your negative attitude was a thing of the past. You know that marriage in the Heights is decided by the government. I was working a lot and didn't want marriage to affect my work, so I didn't like the idea. I think another reason I was so negative was the work the temple was doing. Their work? Yes. The temple was always going to find someone for me eventually. I could afford to be lazy about it. Lazy? I couldn't imagine you ever being lazy. That doesn't suit you, I said and stood up. I went over to the drawer, pulled it open, and rummaged through it. I wasn't hungry, but I wanted something sweet. Perhaps it was a response to wanting sweets as a child and not being able to get them. Aww, my heart. I needed sweets just as badly as air. It would have been a lot easier if I could have gotten someone to do this for me, but I don't want to offload it all to others. I don't like asking people for help. If I can do it myself, I want to. I wasn't feeling like toffee. Not chocolate or jerky either. Jerky? There. I found the box of cookies and pulled it out. Sweet jerky? I went back to you in a good mood and thought about what I'd said. I want to do the things I can do myself, but here I am eating the things Elt bought. I sat down again and offered you a cookie. Aww. No thanks. I already brushed my teeth. So responsible, girl. You can brush them again. Come on. I stared at the cookie in my hand and mumbled, one day. One day I'd like to buy a house. Aw. A house? Yeah. Where we can live together. No answer? What kind of reaction is that? I just don't know what to say. I laughed and told you just to say anything at all. Maybe you like it or maybe you don't. Just say whatever pops into your head. I don't know. I think you're probably too attached to your freedom to buy a house. I know it's not something I usually do. It just annoys me that you have to live in Elt's house even after getting married. Oh, good point. You can live here too. Where do you live? What? No. I don't want to live with Elt. He talks too much. If I had to spend even more time with him, I'd become neurotic. Become, eh? You talk a lot as well. Oof. Huh. I had to agree that was true. It wasn't as bad as Elt, but I could go on for a long time, too. It really wasn't a big difference. Aw. Still not as bad as Elt, I grumbled as I looked away self-consciously. Anyway, we're not kids. We'll have a family starting tomorrow. I'll look for a place to settle down. Perhaps I should have started sooner, to be honest. Probably should have. Perhaps you should have. But that's how you are. You laughed. The clock on the wall rang out as if to give us a message. Hopefully not a death message. It was midnight. On this day, we would marry. Soon it was going to be morning, then noon. The ceremony would end, and we would leave as a family. it still didn't feel real. I don't know whether that was normal or whether I was weird. I had nobody to compare myself to. Would be pretty lame if I turned up late and sleepy, so I'll go now. Where will you sleep? Not telling. Don't worry, it's safe. You got up as well. I'll walk you halfway. You don't have to. But I want to. Good answer. We locked arms. So cute. I almost tilted over when you pulled me close. Whoa! You're weak. Girl. I just wasn't prepared, idiot. I unwrapped myself and took your hand. There. Let's go, my bride. Oh, my heart. It cheered me up to see you startled, and I grinned. That's so good. Revenge. It all goes both ways. Even if you confuse me to no end, I wanted to take the lead. Think of it as an honor, I thought. One that only you could handle. Oh, is that the end? I wasn't ready for it to finish. It was so cute. I love it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do a quick pause just to comment on that. That was really sweet. I loved that a lot. You could see that they had both come a long way, even since the other short story we had with them. Had with him. Man. I loved that. That was so wholesome. Starting off strong with our boy Ulrich. Okay. Now for this guy. Let's hear about the Golden Pavilion and doves. Alright. What's up, Elt? I'd long been aware of the concept of marriage. Feelings aside, the drive to procreate is common to all animals. The Valentines were a family of some renown, and since I was the only son, I had a responsibility. If I allowed our bloodline to die out, I'd wager my ancestors would tar and feather me after death. Dang. Anything but that. I became more aware of it when I became an adult. Marriage proposals fluttered in now and then, and that did leave an impression. Oh, popular like Finn, eh? Some proposed marriage to me at work, some at the assembly, some at parties. Each time I excused myself as being too young and immature. I truly believed that I was too young to marry at first. I'd lost my father before becoming an adult, and I truly was too young to head the family bank. Still, I couldn't ignore my responsibility, and I couldn't entrust it to someone else. I wanted to be accepted by the employees, and so I tried to carry my weight. Even after having some one-night stands, I found I didn't want anything permanent. Until you met your girl. Time passed by, and my interest in marriage only waned. My suitors came to seem like cattle at an auction. Oof! This girl is very pretty. Everyone is captivated by her looks. This girl has a great personality. She will be your better half and shine at every party. Her family is amazing. Her pedigree is just as good as the Valentines. Sounds like Cusco going through his brides. Some spoke to me directly, while some wrote to me instead. Very brave women. Some called me blessed with plentiful choices, but the more who did, the less enthusiastic about the whole arrangement I was. I didn't want to marry someone forced upon me. I wanted to find a partner for myself. Besides, my ideal is
I wanted someone strong who didn't need to be protected. I wanted us to be on equal footing so we could overcome our difficulties together. I knew this was a lofty ideal, and so I wasn't picky about her birth or looks. Having told Ulrich about it at some point, he simply ended up laughing at me. I thought it was equally ridiculous and doubted I would ever meet the right one. Oh, how wrong I was. I met you. This isn't good. I found it difficult to sleep despite my marriage the next day.
That's why.
I'd been meaning to count sheep, but I found myself thinking back on life. I hope I don't fall asleep during the ceremony. I wasn't the type to snore, so I didn't think it would be very obvious, but the problem was a different one. I know why I can't sleep.
So many dots.
I knocked on your wooden door.
Yes?
You were awake as well. It wouldn't have been fair if only I was nervous. Feeling better, I asked to enter. You said yes. I took a breath and took the doorknob in my hand. I entered the room with careful, gentlemanly motions.
Oh, so gentlemanly. What is it, Elt?
It was night, but I was still surprised to see you in your pajamas.
Yeah?
It wasn't a particularly racy set, and so I remained in control of myself. I'm too excited to sleep. I was hoping we could enjoy ourselves. You smiled at this unusually unadorned confession bereft of insinuations.
Uh-huh.
It was a smile much like the one a mother would give her child, which irked me a little. You will marry me tomorrow.
Yes. I look forward to it, Elt.
You didn't have to bow. I suppose that was the kind of person you were, even if I didn't need it. Aren't you happy that you scored me, of all people?
Yes. Scored you, huh?
You said, and sat on the edge of the bed. I sat down next to you, waiting for you to continue.
I don't feel like I scored you or anything. It was all you from the beginning.
Oh, I guess that's true. That did make a lot of sense. You were the perfect woman for me, as you fit my ideals like nobody else. I continued to tell myself not to expect too much, as you had been by my side before accepting me. That was true, and yet... I always forced my opinion on you, didn't I?
Well?
I felt taken down to earth, as though I had crashed from the very skies.
About time.
Our marriage is the same. I'm pushing this on you.
Elt.
I am, aren't I? I'm excited about it, but you... I felt something warm on the back of my hand and stopped.
You aren't. It takes 2 people to get married.
You wrapped your fingers around mine.
Aww. I tried to avoid marriage in the Heights. That you were able to change me so much, Elt, is nothing short of incredible.
My spirits roared up again.
Doesn't take much.
I was happy, ecstatic in a way I otherwise never would have been.
That said, I don't know what married life is like. I look forward to your guidance on the matter, Elt.
I will guide you. That said, I hadn't been married before either. There wasn't much I knew about the subject. I don't know either. We will have to learn together. I returned your touch.
So there are things you don't know after all.
You grinned at this jest. I ran my fingers through your hair and put my hand on your cheek. Of course. You should know how inexperienced I am. You weren't just an ideal. You knew my weaknesses and immaturities, the things I didn't show others. I would have liked to cut a dashing figure in front of you, but you were the perfect woman to me. I would have liked to be the perfect man for you, but I felt as thought was impossible.
You're cutting a dashing figure already. Don't worry.
Really?
Yes, really.
Damn. I hardly ever use that word, so seeming somewhat amused, you responded in kind.
Even the non-dashing parts of you are dashing.
Even the... I'm not sure I understand. I will chalk it up to my holistic impression. Thank you very much. I was used to receiving praise since my early childhood, but it was never unpleasant. Hearing it from you meant all the more. Now I will be able to sleep well.
That's good.
I pulled close to you and began to kiss you. My glasses bumped into your face as I did.
Oh, now they're all smudged.
Sorry.
It's all right.
The moment I removed my glasses, you went blurry.
Aw, he's farsighted.
I could still see your outline very clearly. I made to kiss you again. I heard the rustle of the sheets and our unsteady breathing.
Whoa! Hello.
The music and noise in the bank would have hidden it. Her clothes aren't even that exciting, but... The situation being what it was still very appealing to me.
Oh, I'm sure.
So... I playfully bit your lip and pulled away to look at you. What should I do now?
Go to bed. Well...
I might retire eventlessly to my room, or I might stay here until the morning. You only looked at me. Perhaps you didn't know what to say. Perhaps you were too stunned to answer.
You can stay here as long as you don't try something funny. Good girl.
Something funny? For example... I pulled you close to me and whispered into your ear. Wearing your clothes? Doing stretching exercises on the floor over there?
That, too, is weird, I suppose.
That, too? What else could there be? I knew this was a mean question. You groaned. Hey, let me know.
I don't know.
Really? You buried your head in my shoulder and repeated your answer immediately. If you don't know, perhaps I ought to teach you.
Oh no.
I let go of you and pushed you down on the bed.
And here we go again.
Alt? Yes?
You know what I mean.
I do. I'm only going to sleep next to you. I look down on you, snuggled between my arms.
I'm glad our girl's firm. We're not married yet.
Yes, and I'd like to satisfy you. Ulrich would have pronounced that line to be very creepy, but I drew you close anyway. Never fear. Nothing untoward will happen. I'm a gentleman.
You are, I believe. But your definition of untoward worries me.
That's justified.
I'm glad you realized that.
I laughed, unable to deny it, and kissed you. I was torn between hoping this beautiful moment would last forever and eagerly awaiting the day to come. Verily, I was the very picture of immaturity and selfishness.
What a great line. Yea, verily.
Thank you for loving me. You won't regret it, I vowed. Not as a Valentine, but as myself. I wanted to make you happy.
Oof. All right. Well, I'm glad Elt is just still on brand, no matter what. But to his credit, it seems like he's held off all the way up to the actual wedding day. So I'll give him kudos for that. Still liked Ulrich's more. Ulrich's was more wholesome. This, although I will say, it was kind of sweet. Elt's was as well. Where she's like, no, I do want to marry you. But don't try anything funny, mister. We're not married yet. Alright? No funny business. Alright. Let's do Ines Heinrich Heine. I'm expecting a lot of sugar from this Inez. And no sibling zone. Good work again today.
I'd finished my patrols and was about to leave the Hound's facility when I heard someone behind me. I turned around to find you there. I thought you had the day shift.
I did overtime in the archives so we could go home together.
Overtime. The sun had already gone down. Had you really waited all this time?
Aww.
Then you must be more tired than I am. I can't approve of that.
I'm alright. I'm confident in my endurance.
Your eyes were sparkling, ignoring my attempts to dissuade you. This was so much like you. Only the young are so confident.
I think you are young enough, Serenas.
I was certainly older than a woman who wasn't even 20.
Yeah, but you're still young.
I will be 30 soon. I'm not young.
Don't say that! You're younger than my late father. Don't say that! Hold on, pause. Time out. Time out, both of you. Time out. Okay. First of all, Inez, you and I are the same age, so shut up. Second of all, don't bring up your dad as like a measuring stick. Oh, girl. Girl, I swear. We didn't even make it like a minute into your story. And I'm like, wait. Okay, continuing.
Well, I didn't want to be compared to her father, at least.
Right? Hey, Serenas, Why are you smiling?
How could I not smile? I'm not your father, I'm your fiancé. And it was the last day I would be that, too. After the marriage ceremony the next day, we would be lawfully wedded. I'm no longer young if I'm compared to your father, huh?
Really now?
I couldn't tell whether you agreed or not.
What is this? Your age aside, I should certainly hope I will grow up to be as calm and collected as you.
I was a man of little importance, and poor in both individuality and emotion. You alone had seen me as special. I was happy you had so much affection for me, but it could be uncomfortable. I lacked the experience to be a role model. We walked a few more steps before I stopped. It shouldn't be the same as always. You'd waited a long time. I wanted to do something for you.
Yes? Hold her hand, sir. Inez. Inez. Hold her hand, sir.
We went to a stable attached to the hound's facility and took out one of the horses.
Ooh, I like this more, actually.
When I reached for the head of a black one, you asked me if I knew how to ride.
He grew up in the country.
I used to ride around on cows as a kid.
Oh.
Didn't you receive riding lessons as an officer? You should be able to ride too.
Yes, but I'm not very good. I was happy not to ride.
Officers only ever had to ride during parades and other functions. And even then, only the rank 3 officers. Most only received training.
Can cows run as fast as horses?
No, they never even moved.
Goodness gracious.
I put reins on the horse and led it to the water. I tied the reins to a pole and brushed its hair. We had people whose job it was to do that normally, of course. I knew I didn't have to do so much for a little ride. Rather, I felt compelled to do it, as a way to brush up on my training. I checked the harness and put it on. The bridle was last.
You seem used to this.
I took your hand and lifted you on the horse first.
Such a gentleman.
There are more opportunities to ride down here. I didn't think I could ride well at first, and wanted to improve. I gripped the saddle and mounted up. I shifted around until I was comfortable and kicked the horse in its sides. It began to walk.
It's moving.
It was alive. Of course it would move. I smiled, amused by your reaction. Let's go. Don't fall off.
You too. Nothing but trouble, I tell you. Ooh, that's new.
We headed for the wall that separated the sanctuary district from the depths.
I didn't know there was a forest here. Nor I.
I was happy to see you so surprised as we rode inside. Socks and I found it a long time ago. We never thought we'd find something like it here in this blasted land. I've never met anyone else here either.
You went here with socks?
Yes, when we were looking into the wall. I was just a pipsqueak then, though.
I can't imagine.
Probably. I nodded and narrowed my eyes. Once my friend, once my superior. The Sanctuary District had changed him, and not many knew what he had really been like originally. Practically nobody held him in any esteem. I can't say he was a good man. I was no better. I'd been his right hand, and I wasn't about to forget the people I had killed. We had supported each other. I hoped that at least I would remember the good deeds he was capable of.
Care to list any of them? Oh, this is so pretty!
There we are. The forest opened up onto a lake. Nearby birds took flight, surprised by the horse.
How could this be here?
There weren't any lakes where you lived in the heights, right? Near the center of the heights, where the nobles lived, were only artificial ones. If my memory served me right, there weren't even ponds.
I'm sad we're only seeing this now. It's so pretty. No, there were only some fountains. Nothing like this.
I dismounted, satisfied. I put a hand on your back to guide you down as well. We lack many things here compared to the heights, but there's also a lot of unexplored territory. Further away from this, there might be even more beautiful places. But not for me, I said, and led the horse towards the lake. I put a lantern on the ground and lit it.
Not for you.
I'm the commander of the hounds now. If I leave the Sanctuary District, the people here would suffer. I patted the horse's back as it drank from the lake, and looked off into the distance. It was a dark place, even during the day, but at night the darkness was impenetrable.
Seems pretty sparkly to me.
I want to see the sun again. Bright sunlight, an infinite blue sky, a vibrant field of grass. Having been consigned to the depths, I was never going to see them again.
I'm sure you will see them one day.
He stood next to me and encouraged me.
The reputation of the hounds has improved under your command. Once there is peace, we might be able to travel. Besides, I'd like to go as well.
You would?
Yes. I'd like to know more about the world I live in. I want to explore the whole of it. Together with you.
The whole world. There was a limit to the world we knew in the heights. I wondered whether the depths also had a limit. Explore, huh? I liked imagining such travels, but I had never tried to leave myself. Was it your youth that made you say this? Or was it just a part of who you were? Your exuberant attitude was always a surprise for someone as stiff as me.
That's saying a lot.
Traveling together. That sounds nice. I rummaged through my pockets and pulled out a small box the size of my hand. I don't know if this is the right time, but... I looked at you and slowly unfastened the box. It didn't open. I tried to force it open, but it only creaked. Is it defective?
It was such a good moment, too. Aw, man.
You noticed I was struggling and asked to have the box. I would have liked to give it to you with the contents visible. Still, I didn't want to break it, and so gave it over to you.
I think I know how it works. You press this.
You said.
Smart girl.
And the box opened quite easily.
There.
Yes. You'd managed it.
Good, right?
Of course. Just not very gentlemanly of me.
Don't feel bad.
It was supposed to go more smoothly. One might say I even blundered.
And this is?
I felt cornered by the innocence of your smile. It's a ring.
Yes, I can see that.
You were as composed as ever.
So, wait, hold on. So did you propose without a ring, and now you're like, I actually managed to get a ring for you the night before we get married? Because if so, that is awesome.
It wasn't getting through to you. Well, tomorrow, you and I...
Tomorrow. Oh! We're getting married! Yes.
Yes, I nodded, but didn't know how to continue. You smiled and said you looked forward to it.
Did you bow? I didn't think I was ever going to marry. I don't know what it will be like. But I hope we can live as harmoniously as my parents did.
Yes, so do I. I would have liked to say something fitting. My inarticulate nature allowed no more. We were alone together, and yet it was all so clumsy.
That's because it's the two of you.
I don't have 1% of Adage's wild nature.
Pause. That is certainly an accurate statement, but man, of all the ways to word that, what exactly would Adage do in this situation? Oh boy. Alright. Please continue.
My own limitations made me angry.
The ring is beautiful.
You had taken the ring from the box and held it up to the light of the lantern. It glittered in the soft glow.
Could you put it on my hand? Aw.
Yes, of course. I took the ring and put it on your finger.
Now say the vow.
It fit as though made only for you.
I will treasure it.
I was relieved to see you smile. I'd given you a ring, no more. Still, it seemed like a momentous achievement. I will treasure you, too. I could think of no more and drew you close.
It's a good line.
We leaned against each other. I listened to the wind, the rustling of the trees, and your breathing. The silence was one we never had during the day in the sanctuary district. It's not bright or gaudy, but just nice. Our marriage ceremony would be the same.
Just nice.
We were both fairly unpolished.
Understatement.
Together, we would scale this gentle hill. And we would be together forever.
Well, that was very sweet. Kudos to Inez for introducing us to beautiful new backgrounds that we didn't get to see before. I can't believe they had to bring in the father. Oy. Oof. Big oof on that. But otherwise, you know, it's more of those two just being goobers and super stiff around each other. But I gotta say, I gotta give Inez kudos because he gets gifts for his girl quite often. That's pretty nice. Okay, I need a sip of water for Adaje because we're gonna get into territory here. So, you all know what's coming. You thought I paused a lot during Inez's? Ha! Just you wait. Okay, Adaje, what you doing? What you doing to me today? At least he has his own house.
How the hell did this happen? It was the night before our marriage. I was washing the dishes and looking out the window. You were outside where I was looking.
How did this happen?
I had no idea why looking at the starless sky was so interesting, but I let you be. No harm was done, and I didn't want you disturbing my chores anyway. I heard your footsteps. I looked down again and resumed washing the dishes.
Back.
Get anything?
Get what?
I looked at you and knew you didn't understand. You looked so odd when you were clueless.
Thanks.
Weren't you there to catch a bird or something? Got something tasty? You weren't sure how to answer.
I mean, I would be confused too.
It even took you a while to end the silence.
I'm not that starved.
I snorted and pinched your lips with my wet hands.
Gross, don't do that.
You eat more than me, liar. You tried to get away from me, took a step back, and shook your head.
You just don't eat a lot, Adaje. I eat normally.
Really?
Yes. Probably.
Probably. I finished cleaning the dishes and wiped my hands with cloth. You're just a glutton. I like people who eat a lot. They're overflowing with life.
Thanks. You don't think it's shameless?
I would have talked to you about it long ago if I did. You agreed.
I mean, it's true.
Long ago, huh? We'd met a little more than a year ago.
Oh.
It wasn't long by human standards. We were a ways apart in age, too, and still. Weird that I'm getting married to you. You apparently heard this quite well, said,
You're noticing quite late.
and laughed.
Are you afraid?
No. In fact, I want to see you in a dress. I lived in the depths for a while, but I was born in the Heights. Therefore, I'd arranged a dress for you, figuring we had to imitate the style of the Heights.
Oh, you don't want to marry her in her mushroom hat?
There hadn't been a way to procure a wedding dress in the Sanctuary District, of course. I had bought the cloth in Libralitas and commissioned a tailor near the market.
Wow, boy went all out.
It had been extremely expensive, even for someone like me who lived a relatively comfortable life by Sanctuary District standards. And she was only going to wear it once. It was such a waste.
But you did it anyway.
Just once. And since it was going to become a memento, we couldn't sell it or throw it away either. It was just... Anyway, I didn't regret it, but it didn't make me happy.
Oh, Adache.
Hey, will you wear the wedding dress for me?
I intend to? I can't show up dressed like this.
You didn't understand that, did you?
I did.
Not tomorrow. Now. Right now.
Why?
Because I want to see you in it.
Wait till tomorrow.
It was a childish request,
It's bad luck.
but it was what I wanted.
It's bad luck. Don't do it.
I really wanted to see you wear it. I had no intention of backing down either. You readily agreed, despite my every intention to force you anyway.
Sheesh. It's nothing new that you have these ridiculous requests, and I know arguing won't make you back down, so I will wear it.
I mean, it was a childish request, but I didn't want to be treated like a... Actually, whatever. I win, so yay. I had to play this cool. I'll wait here. Let me know when you're done changing.
All right.
You gave a short answer and disappeared into the bedroom.
Lock the door. You won't see till tomorrow.
I heard the ruffling of cloth.
And the closet falling down on her.
Ordinarily, the sounds coming from an adjacent room did not excite me much. Just waiting like this is stupid. I took a medical textbook and notebook from a drawer and opened them up.
I'm sure you can focus. I'm sure.
I couldn't hear anything. Perhaps she'd lost consciousness putting on the dress somehow.
Yes.
Hey, are you okay?
Probably.
A sign of life, though qualified. I asked you if you needed more time. You said you weren't used to the dress. I don't know how dresses work. I barely know how medicine does.
Don't admit that!
I've never tried on a dress. Good luck. I knew this wasn't much of an encouragement. You said you'd do your best and then fell silent again.
I hope she didn't rip it. That would be terrible. Please tell me you didn't rip it.
I couldn't think about a damn thing. I put the notebook inside the medical textbook, closed both, and slumped forward onto the table.
This is your punishment.
I wasn't an impatient person, but I was feeling strangely restless. I know what I have to do now.
I'm coming in!
I got up, walked over to the sink, and pulled open a drawer. I took out a piece of white cloth and handmade kitchen soap.
Okay.
Nothing stuck out to me as dirty, but I began to clean the sink. It seemed the right thing to do.
Okay, so he cleans when he's stressed.
I had hardly started when... there was a light knock on the door. Not the entrance of the house, but the one to the bedroom.
I'm done.
The promised time had come, but I needed a moment to process it. I was being interrupted in my task of wiping away every last little stain on the sink, after all.
After all.
What now, I thought.
Adache?
Wait there. I'll come over.
No, I'll come.
No. Soon you'll take it off anyway. That could be misunderstood, I thought.
It could be.
I'm not saying I'll undress you. All I meant is you have to take it off for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a painful excuse that I grimaced.
Well, I'm glad you were aware.
Never mind. I'll come over. I put the cloth and the soap back and walked over.
I love how excited he is for this.
Excuse me. That was unusually polite for me. I blame the tension. Where was my composure? In the bedroom I saw you, wearing the wedding dress. I knew the design beforehand, but...
What?
I felt interrogated. I leaned back against the wall and took a deep breath.
Wow.
I put some effort into the wedding dress. The fabric is good, and it's a nice design that suits you. It looks like I got all the measurements right, so naturally you look good in it. Furthermore, I'm somewhat infatuated with you. In love. I don't know how large the world is, but there's only one thing in it that I love more than you. That's me, by the way, and I'm not being conceited. A doctor like me carries the weight of many lives on his shoulders. I have to love myself to treat them well.
Where is this going?
Myself aside, what I mean is that you look amazing.
Wow.
You wanted to know the details, and there they are.
That was all a little sudden. It's also so superficial as to be hard to believe.
Give up. I'm not the type to jump with joy.
On the outside.
I stared at your shape. I figured you would wear this only for the wedding, but it looks rather good.
Really now?
You don't like it?
It's just hard to move in. But I'm glad you like it. I don't get to see you happy very often. Aww.
You looked cute when you smiled bashfully.
Aww.
Usually your demeanor was so masculine, I sometimes forgot what your gender was.
Thanks.
Every now and then, though, I was reassured you were a woman.
Thanks. You should have smiled like that from the beginning.
I realize I'd been smiling this whole time.
Aww. And now it's gone again. That's not cute, Adage.
With how cute you are, we balance out. I reached for the veil and covered your face. Enough for now. The rest comes tomorrow. I kissed you on the head.
Adage.
Take it off carefully. Don't tear anything in a rush. You looked up at me through the veil and said how you knew that.
You act like you're my father.
No, I'm your husband. Starting tomorrow. I left the bedroom.
I guess he's off with the daddy kink now.
I truly was happy that we were marrying. However, do I really want a family? I looked back on my life and felt a rope tighten around my chest. My mother had wasted away, and I, as a child, could do nothing to stop it. My father and I had never seen eye to eye, right until the end. I was used to being alone, to loneliness, and had always assumed I would just die alone eventually. I wouldn't have thought I'd find my love in such a place. I'm always letting everyone mess up my life. But this time, it felt right. It felt good. We all go out eventually anyway. Should just play along. Now I had you. The time I had lost was never coming back, but I had a bright future in front of myself. I wanted to look at that future with optimism.
Good. I'm glad. Alright. Well, that was good. I mean, typical Adage. I feel like he's going to ask her to wear the wedding dress quite a few times after the actual wedding. But it was kind of interesting to see him be like, do I actually want a family, though? I mean, marrying her is one thing, but man, my own experience with family has not been good, so that was kind of interesting to see, for sure. Alright, Saint Bro, how we doing this? Whoa, nice stones.
That's enough for today.
And he also has keys, oh my god.
I put the tools down on the table, leaned back, and stretched myself out. I could hear cloth rustling.
He's got a radio.
My joints creaked. It's already this late. I looked at the clock on the wall and saw it was just past noon.
So late.
You should have come back by now. It's not raining, but it's always cloudy.
Hold on a second, I just noticed he's got a picture of himself in his saint outfit. Stop. Oh my goodness, Yune, you're too extra for me.
I looked at the heavy sky outside. In the heights, we'd always had bright light and clear skies. I'd gotten used to it. We hadn't had it before the flood either.
Interesting. No sun before the flood.
Time was standing still for me, but not for the depths. No, it no longer stands still. I had thrown away my immortality and become a human again. I was surprised that I had chosen life after wishing for death for so long, but I didn't regret it. There was so much to love after all.
After all.
3 more days until it's done. No, 2. I touched it and pictured the blueprints. I was making a complex metal contraption for Elkcreed. At first glance, it was merely an ornamented cube, but when handled correctly, it would open up. Inside were yet more cubes with their own mechanisms.
Okay.
What does he want with it?
Is it a puzzle?
It seemed like something a child would enjoy, but Elkcreed?
Oh, he definitely would like it.
I suppose he likes this sort of thing. He's a strange man. I was strange as well, in a way.
Well, at least you acknowledge that.
I'd lived for 4 centuries and been revered in that time. There could hardly be many like me. You could even call me a monster. That word can no longer hurt me. Besides, I agreed. I've lived for centuries. You'd think I would look different by now. Now, at last, my time would advance at the same rate as everyone else. I was going to fade, eventually, but first I was going to grow. My body was still in its teens, after all. My sickness was known to be terminal, but it could be forestalled with medication.
Nice.
I wasn't going to recover, but I still had time. I could live without having to worry about it. That was enough. Ah. I heard footsteps approaching. I knew by the pace that it was you.
I'm home.
Welcome home. You nodded and closed the door. You must have brought groceries on the way home. I began to fill the shelves with the contents of your bags.
Thank you.
On your hips was a long sword. It wasn't very feminine armament, but it was a part of who you were. So you work even on the day before your marriage.
So were you, no? I was gonna say.
I was. You glanced down and pointed at the table. This is just an extension of my interests.
Same. It's work.
I suppose. I got up and walked over to you.
Good on you for calling it out.
Sorry to spring this on you, but would you like to head out? I want to eat lunch outside. You smiled and gracefully agreed.
Should I take the sword with me?
We're just going out to eat. You don't need it.
But
I'm just a normal citizen now. There's no reason for anyone to attack me. Perhaps that wasn't the best way to phrase it. You furrowed your eyebrows.
we would be in trouble if we were attacked. I will go armed.
All right. That takes me back. I changed clothes in front of the mirror and turned around. You came with me to the depths when I decided to go. I suppose you didn't have much choice in the matter. I was still glad you'd come with me. I wouldn't have had the courage to go alone. Everything is different. Only I am the same. I didn't want to admit that. I was imprisoned by the fear of seeing that everyone important to me was dead. Everyone important. Oh, right. There's a place I want to go after lunch.
Where is it?
Somewhere important to me. But first... Let's eat! I said and took your hand. I'm absolutely starving. I really want to fill my stomach.
What else is new? Actually, maybe that's why he was hungry all the time. He was stuck as a teenage boy, and he was just constantly hungry.
After lunch, we went to my destination. It was a secret library, hidden away among the subterranean tunnels and dark limestone caves. Ordinarily, it had been a research institute, and not a library.
Is Ulrich okay with you coming in here?
The years had erased everything but the books. We had made it beyond the heavy metal door. I heard a voice and saw Ulrich.
Hi, Ulrich.
He was sitting on a table holding a book. Ulrich. We looked at each other, and he sighed.
Huh. What? If you're going to come into my library, at least let me know. I'm trying not to run into you. Fair.
It was my library before the flood.
Oof.
I didn't want to insist on my ownership, but... I wasn't interested in relinquishing it entirely.
You two. Shut up!
Ulrich pouted and hopped down from the table. He grabbed a few books and came over to us. I didn't say you had to leave.
I know. I just don't want to breathe the same air.
He walked past without looking at us.
I mean, fair.
The door slammed shut and he was gone.
Oh, we intruded on his privacy.
Is there nothing we can do to appease him?
Don't say that. We're already making progress.
In the past, he hadn't even looked me in the eye. He was a descendant of Arsenclime, but we weren't related by blood. If anything, we were strangers. Not being able to imagine what his family had gone through, I didn't want to force him to like me. Just knowing he's alive is enough for me.
And as long as he lets me go in my library whenever I want.
I took your hand and began to walk through the library. Books were scattered haphazardly on the table, but the shelves were orderly. The books were in excellent condition considering their centuries of age. Arsenclime must have made it through quite well. I smiled at his resilience and crouched down in a corner of the room. There was a box about 1 meter on each side.
What is that?
A toolbox, a toy box, a garbage bin, a box of personal belongings. Call it what you will. I touched the lid, feeling your curious gaze on me and the box. The dust being so thick, it was clear that nobody had touched the box in a long time. Maybe they didn't see it here. Maybe they decided not to touch it. At least they hadn't thrown it away. I opened the lid and leaned over the contents. As expected, they were as I had left them. Then there must be... There were notes and toys inside, things I'd used to research minerals. I rummaged carefully through the box, mindful of the memories attached. There it is. I took out what I wanted and looked at you.
Another box?
Yes, it's for you. I smiled and opened the smaller box.
If you had a ring this entire time. A ring?
Yes. The jewel isn't very valuable these days. Arsenclime asked me to make one for his own marriage, and so I made another for the one I would eventually meet as well.
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet.
I didn't think it would take centuries, though. I got up and held out my hand. You understood and put your hand in mine. There. It might be a little big.
Too bad.
It's all right. I can change it. It's not hard. I pulled the ring off your ring finger and held it up to the ceiling. It looked to be in good condition. All the tools I needed were in the box. It was easy to do. Just wait. It will only take a few minutes. I was quite confident, and you said...
You don't have to rush.
And smiled. I want to do it now. I want to leave you stunned. I like surprising people. You the most. You gave me a surprised and slightly exasperated look. That was such a cute reaction, and it made me very happy. I made this on a whim. Who would have known? Life was full of mysteries. I had no idea what would happen. Eventually, we would reach our final station, but none could know the time or pace of arrival. I only had to hold on to hope, because I wasn't alone. You had changed my life and my future. You were the jewel of my world, and the most beautiful one I had ever seen.
Aww. That was so freaking cute. Gosh. Oh, man. Bro Saint, you come in clutch again. I gotta tell you, man. I gotta tell you. A ring that he made on a whim as a teenager so he could be like his big brother Arson Climb. And then comes back like 400 years later and is like, I can finally use this. Stop. And then it's like, but she's the real jewel of my life. I can't with that boy. Okay. And one last bro. Mr. Finn Euclase. Let's see how that went down. Ooh. Where are we?
What was I going to do? I closed up the shop and sighed, key still in hand. Tomorrow is the day. Our marriage. I groaned the moment I realized it.
It'll be okay.
I leaned back against the wall and covered my mouth to steady my breathing. Calm down. Calm down. I had to keep telling myself that as I gasped for air. I was as nervous as I was ecstatic. My feelings were going haywire. It was so uncomfortable. It's real, isn't it? I pinched my own cheek as hard as I could. Ouch! My cheek stung. I'd overdone it. What was I doing? I must have looked very suspicious. This isn't good. I have to pull myself together. I wasn't worthy of her, the way I was acting. This is like a dream. An incredible dream. The mere thought that something I could do might end the dream scared me more than anything else. But what should I do? I had, of course, not gotten married before. I'd always managed to avoid it one way or another in the Heights. I'd wanted to avoid it until now, but I had no idea what married life would look like and what to expect. I knew that if I asked her, she was just going to laugh. I'm a man, and I'm from the Heights. I have to be dependable. What did I have to do?
This is going to be 15 minutes of Finn freaking out. What do I do?
I'm home. I left the shop in the evening, and still I was late. I expected you would be mad at me, but I needn't have worried.
Welcome home. You're late.
You said and smiled encouragingly. I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
I don't mind. I only just finished cooking dinner anyway.
Dinner? We were taking turns doing the cooking.
Very nice. Good on you both.
At first, you had even struggled to cut the vegetables. But now... Wow, the stew looks delicious.
It actually is, in fact. Good job, girl.
Your skills had improved drastically, both from experience and from reading cookbooks. It's amazing. I never cease to be impressed with you. The longer I knew you, the more about you I loved. I must have been the most blessed person alive to be at your side.
By the way, Finn, what is all that?
You surprised me while I was putting the dishes on the table. I shouldn't be spacing out. I had followed your lead and bought something of my own to read. They're books! I opened the bag and put them onto the table. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, books. On what?
Marriage.
Marriage.
You took off your apron and leafed through one of them. Its title was Interior Design for Newlyweds. Most of the 200 pages dealt with how to make quality furniture on a budget. Some of the others were household finances, married life, and how to be a better husband. I'd bought everything that had seemed useful.
That's so cute.
I thought I had to be prepared. I don't know how to be a good husband, so I thought maybe these will be useful. Aimlessly buying a boatload of books with a text on household finances among them is a bit of a contradiction.
True.
Well, hopefully it would prove to pay for itself.
Hopefully. I can't read these letters very well yet, but perhaps it will be useful. You're as studious as ever.
I wasn't sure what to say, faced with your sparkling smile. It wasn't going well. I wanted to look cool and composed in front of you. I didn't want to be seen so weak and pathetic. I have to pull myself together. I'll be a husband tomorrow. But even thinking about this... You put a hand on my back, sensing I was uncomfortable.
Do you feel sick?
No, It's all right. Don't worry about it, I said and lowered my head.
Don't push yourself.
You thumped me on the back encouragingly and crossed your arms in front of your chest.
I love that she just thumps them all the time. Are you going to read them all the day before our marriage? No.
That brought me back. Good question. There was no way I could read them all in one night. I'm sorry, I bought too many.
Don't look so depressed. You don't have to read them all tonight. Read them when we need some help, or when you have time. I know even less about marriage. Thank you for buying something to help with that, Finn. Aww.
The soft tone of your voice soothed me. I was so easy to figure out, I thought, but nonetheless, I was happy.
First, we eat dinner. Afterwards, we can read them together, all right?
Okay! I nodded vigorously and sat down to eat. The stew was a happy mix of meat and vegetables. We also had fresh salad. We also had golden bread and lemon water.
Fancy.
We can't eat so much.
Don't leave anything left over. You have to eat.
All right. I sat down opposite you. We'd been living together for a while already. It feels so odd to know we will be married tomorrow. I'd been trying to avoid it for so long. That I would marry you, I could believe even less. I've used up the luck of a lifetime.
What do you mean?
You transported some bread into your mouth and asked again.
Transported.
I mean my current environment. I love you so much, and just living with you is already more than I ever could have hoped for. But to think we're getting married.
You didn't use up all your luck. This is your fair reward for hardship endured. She knows.
Hardship? I asked, and you said yes and nodded.
Finn, you took the blame for me, even if I never did it in the first place. You survived this torment without breaking, and you lived. And besides, you always loved me, despite my boneheadedness.
You're not boneheaded.
It's the truth.
You laughed wryly.
Finn, you should accept the rewards you're given and be happy.
Thank you. That had been too much praise for me, but I didn't want to argue the point. Instead, I gulped it down with lemon water.
As one does.
I'd only managed to go so far because of you. If I had never met you, I would have wasted away in the heights. I can return the favor slowly over the years. It was going to take a long time.
I feel you'll be okay with that. I feel you won't mind.
After dinner, we lay down in bed and began to read. It wasn't the most civilized behavior, but we were short on time. I was only skimming the books, but I meant to read them properly later.
There's a lot of stylish furniture here.
You were leafing through the furniture book. Is there anything you want? I'll try to make it.
I can't decide.
You kept pointing at things you thought looked nice. Sometimes you seemed to be older than me, but it was times like these when you looked so young. It reminded me of the years that separated us.
Yeah, all 4 of them.
We used to be nothing but colleagues. I couldn't get used to the strangeness of the situation. I would never even have dreamed of it. I shouldn't stare. I reached for a different book to distract myself. The title was Fundamentals of Being a Bridegroom.
Oh, well, you better read that before tomorrow.
And it's about how to raise a family. Family. I had no positive memories attached to the idea. I think my mother said the first child should be a boy. My memory was hazy.
What does that have to do with being a bridegroom?
I'd never even wanted to get married. Of course I couldn't remember. Boys. Children. Yes. Eventually. You and I. Oh no. I'm starting to sweat. I closed the book and steadied my breathing.
You gotta wait another year after this.
Sooner or later, we will have children. Children don't just appear out of nowhere, so we will... My imagination was running wild.
No! I can't believe he actually says scandalous. Oh my god, this voice knows. That is amazing. That is the most, if for nothing else, that has made this all worthwhile, and I thank you guys for voting for this so I could actually do that. I am so pleased. I am beyond pleased. Oh my god, I cannot believe I'm dying. Okay, I'm gonna have a sip of water so I can deliver the scandalous appropriately. That is too amazing. I can't believe that.
Scandalous. Disturbing. What was I doing? Hey! Is there any furniture you... Before I could finish, I realized you were already sleeping. Ah. I guess it's late. More than anything, it's important to get a good night's sleep. I took care not to wake you, put you on your back, and adjusted your bedding. So defenseless.
So creepy.
I ran my fingers through your hair. Perhaps you were simply tired. Still, I took it as a sign of your trust in me, and it made me very happy. Perhaps this is all just a dream. Maybe I will be all alone when I wake up. I would still be able to say that I was happy. My days until then had already been fulfilling. Hopefully, I thought, we would be together forever. I kiss your cheek, that very wish, the one thing on my mind.
Okay, is that the end? That's the end! We did it! Oh my gosh. That was wonderful. I couldn't have asked for anything better, honestly. I will say her response of like, this is your reward for what you went through, what kind of rubbed me a little icky in that maybe it was like, well, I have to marry you because I mean, you did take the fall for me, so I mean, I know she didn't mean it that way, but I felt a little kind of about that, and then his so defenseless remark. But otherwise, it was all very cute. Him just like freaking out the entire time. And the scandalous saved it at the end, so good job, Finn. All right, so if I was going to rank those by my favorites, I would say probably Ulrich's was my favorite. Then Adage, Yune, Inez. Who's last? Who's last? They both made me uncomfortable. Can you guys share? I'm gonna put Elton Finn at the same level. But yeah, definitely Ulrich, Adage, and Yune, top three. But Inez always goes down because of the whole stupid sibling father zone thing that she does. It's like, oh, please stop. Anyway, there you have it. Let me know below what was your favorite out of all of those stories. And thank you for joining me for this and for voting for it. I had a great time. I'm so happy I got to experience that with you guys. All right. And with that, we can finally tie the final bow on Steam Prison. There we go. All right, guys. Until next time, I will see you later.